Hello HEMA friends and welcome to this new arming sword video. Today we are going to apply the feint and attack action that we have seen in the second episode of this short series. You may find the link of the previous videos in the video description, by the way. So let's analyze our plan first. Just a second. If you are enjoying my contents and you haven't already done so, consider subscribing to my channel by clicking the subscribe button and the bell button close to it if you want to get notified on the release of my new videos. Okay, let's go for our plan now. First of all, it's important to have our opponent in a cutting guard position to land this kind of action. The overall goal of the action is to stimulate a defensive reaction with a feinted thrust toward the head or neck. This defensive reaction is in general a cutting-like motion due to the starting position of the opponent. It is critical to add a very half step forward while feinting. This will help us making the feint more realistic and will help us in the second motion, namely the full step sideways. Depending on which leg we have forward at the beginning, we do our full step on the opposite side. So if we start right foot forward, we are going to do our full step toward the left. This step helps us avoiding the possible riposte, or at the very least increasing the time needed by the opponent to land it. While we are moving sideways, we launch our real offensive action, a sottano in italic or Unterhau in German, toward the weapon arm or hand. And we are going to do it in both fashions, mandritto and roverso, so respectively, from the right and from the left. Against a right-handed opponent, the mandritto version of our action goes toward the outside line of the opponent. So after having landed the cut, we are slightly safer from a short amount of time, because the opponent is showing us his shoulders and backside. This is what outside means, by the way. In the roverso action instead, we are on the inside line. The opponent is showing us his chest and arms, so we need to have more care for a possible riposte. So this action ends up being more complex in the end. We feint as before, we cut from below at the arm as before, then we parry the possible riposte. Here Simone is throwing at me an imbroccata thrust, a high right thrust as a riposte. I parry it with an hanging parry, which leads me toward my next cut, a mandritto fendente, a right downward cut, toward the opponent's head or arm. I land this last action by moving my back leg, now the left one, behind my right, crossing it, to better rotate toward the opponent. So, here we have landed our feint and attack actions. In the third video, you have watched how to deal with a point online guard by the means of a bind, and in the next one we are going to learn our first defensive action. Okay guys, we are at the end of this video. Remember, if you want to help me growing up this channel, consider subscribing to it. And check the link to my Patreon page in the video description, because a huge amount of exclusive content awaits you there. Thanks for watching guys, and as always, see you next time.